And a Fox News alert, two huge developments in the deadly Brown University shooting. We're going to get you caught up to speed. Providence police have the name of the person of interest they've been looking for, and there's a warrant out for the arrest. Police are also investigating a possible link between the shooting at Brown and the shooting death of an MIT professor at his home in Brookline, Massachusetts, that's only 1 hour away from Brown. There was supposed to be a news conference at 4 p.m. It has been delayed, so we wait for that. Let's bring in CB Cotton. She has the latest from Providence. Hi, CB.
Hey, Dana. Well, investigators appear to be closing in possibly on multiple cases. As you said, Fox sources have revealed that Providence police have identified the suspected shooter from the Brown University campus shooting. And they're also now looking into a link between this tragedy and the murder of an MIT professor in Brookline, Massachusetts. So let's put all of this together, because for the past several days, investigators have been asking for the public's help to identify this man captured on home surveillance. He's been described as 5'8" with a stocky build. Providence, Rhode Island police say he cased the neighborhood for hours before the shooting. This breaking development comes after yesterday, Providence police asked the public to help identify a second person captured also on surveillance video, nearly passing the person of interest on the sidewalk. The police said if people would come forward and help identify the two people, they'd get the break they needed. Saturday's shooting happened shortly after 4 p.m. local time. 2 students were killed and 9 others wounded. Now we're told police are looking into that possible link between the tragedy and another, that murder of the MIT professor Nuno Lawero, who was gunned down Monday night while he was standing in the hallway of his condo in an upscale Boston neighborhood. Investigators say he was found by a neighbor who heard gunshots, and his wife reportedly ran out into the hallway and called 911. The New York Times now reporting that officers in the Boston area received an alert today directing them to be on the lookout for a vehicle wanted in connection with that shooting. Dana, back here in Rhode Island, there are typically, as you mentioned, press conferences every day, 4 p.m. local time. We're told the news conference set for today has now been pushed back. So we're hoping to get some type of update this evening that will possibly connect all these dots in these fast-moving cases. Back over to you.
All right, CB Cotton, thank you so much. We're going to bring in Paul Morrow in a moment, but Jesse, let me go to you, because now that they have a name, maybe that's why the press conference is pushed back, because if they have a lead, maybe they have more information to give us.
Yeah, we're hearing it's a pretty active situation, and not only do they know the guy, they might be closing in. So good luck. It's just sad, the fact that if they had cameras there and had done their job, if this is connected to MIT, the professor at MIT would be alive. So that's sad. We now know if there is a connection, there is some sort of Brown MIT nexus. Now, the professor who was murdered was from Portugal. He was working on nuclear fusion, which is like the most cutting edge technology in the energy space right now in the world. We don't know if he was a student of this guy. We don't know exactly what that means. He may have been a former Brown student. And so right now, I think you're just trying to trace this car. The New York Times is reporting that there was a car that was alerted to the Boston area, directing officers to look at that. They may have tracked it from Providence to the Boston area. Right, it's like a straight shot, hour and a half north on 95. And if he is in the Boston area, look out. Guy's armed and dangerous.
Brian, what do you know? Anything more or any questions you have at this point?
A ton of questions, but just the link between the two, it's about an hour away. You thought, could there be a link? And everyone said no. Boston police said no, there's no link. And on Saturday, they said, don't worry, you know, it's a horrible situation in that classroom, but it's done. You know, we got the person, so you don't worry about it. Obviously, there's a lot to worry about. Obviously, there is, if these two are connected, as New York Times and others are pointing us to, and CB is pointing us to, it was a dangerous situation, and maybe people were not given the right information. So connecting the two in a rent-a-car, I'm wondering, you know, is that something that these guys didn't think, or this guy didn't think through? You know, that maybe they'll be able to match up both cars at both times. So hopefully they're closing in on him. Hopefully we're going to get some answers. very soon.
But are they saying it's the same car, or they're saying it's the same make and model,
Same
which
make and model.
is basically like every rental
But
car.
from a rental car.
Yeah,
No,
rental
they're-
cars all look like there's always like similar makes and models. I don't know.
Well, maybe it's not a link, but it's good to know that there's something at least to talk about, because
Yeah.
we felt like we've been
Everything's
through
a
bit of
Sebring.
I don't think it's a
remember
Sebring
those.
anymore.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the press conference. I hope that they'll have something to say, but I just want to say, as the details are coming out about the MIT professor, and that he was, in his condo building, that he lived on the first floor, and that he had 3 little kids who were at home, it just crushing to learn the details of this. And, I felt like for the first couple of days, we weren't even talking about this element, not necessarily of this case, but even as a separate tragedy, and it really deserves our time. And I don't know what this will result in, but the internet is doing its thing, and there are wild webs of conspiracy theories being laid. But this is a very interesting person for someone to have come and sought out and murdered like that.
But
for
Jessica,
sure.
there's nothing that I saw that he is active on the Palestinian situation.
understand that.
No. But I'm just saying that the first thing you thought, is he a Jewish professor? Because there was some Israeli newspapers were saying,
Yeah.
hey, is the Iranians targeting Jewish professors, nuclear professors,
And
like
because
they
the
were
Brown
targeted in
professor
Iran? Yeah.
whose class it is Jewish and teaches economics and Judaic studies. Yeah, that's why I'm saying there is a lot going on in your phone that has not been verified by any law enforcement officials, and to be careful about that.
Okay, so let's get more information from retired NYPD inspector, Fox News contributor Paul Morrow. He's in Providence and has been for us. So we might have gotten a few things wrong. CB Cotton set us up with the news. What's your analysis?
So it does look like the car here is key, and if there is a link between the 2 crimes, it looks like it does come down to the car. How did they ascertain that? It's going to be an LPR, a license plate reader. It was something that we talked about earlier in the week, that if they were able to get some information from a license plate reader, it may be how they could get who it was that was in this area of Rhode Island that maybe was not normally here. It's the kind of thing that you look at to develop a clue what doesn't fit. The other way, though, this could work is that if they, in fact, developed a car here in Rhode Island, which I think they did, you then put an alert on that car, and this is stuff that's out there. It's not deep, dark tradecraft. You put the alert on the car, because now you can't find this person because you have a name, you have a car of interest, you put an alert on it, and at some point, that car is going to trip an alarm elsewhere. If I had to guess, and the information's coming fast, and I only want to talk about stuff that's verified, so I want to be clear, I'm speculating a bit, but if I had to guess, they had an alert on the car tripwired someplace near the second crime, MIT. It took them a while to put that together. That's the commonality. And right now, the reporting is that they are really in pursuit of that name and making progress.
Let's go. We'll take it around the table. Jesse.
So, Paul, the hit, if it was a hit, was incredibly sloppy, which makes me think it wasn't a hit. I mean, you're going in, you're just spraying rounds inside of an auditorium, and then you're just driving north and assassinating a professor in a rental car. Do you think that probably this person knew the professor, had a connection to Brown University? It seems really personal.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is the following. They're not entirely clear, that is, authorities here are not clear on how the shooter, and I want to be clear, it could be a female, we don't know at this point. I heard a couple of names, but again, I want to verify. They don't know how the shooter went into the building. They know how he fled, but they don't know how the shooter entered. So the shooting occurred in a classroom that's quite near the door, actually, that's behind me, behind the police line here. So, you could go to the theory that this is the first Brown building that you encounter as you come out of the residential neighborhood that we know he was hanging around in. He was scoping it out. He was looking for cameras. So he comes in here. He goes to the first populated classroom because, unfortunately, it was target rich. There's a lot of people going in and out. He sees that it's populated. There were other things going on in the building. What would be dispositive for me, or at least certainly lean in a certain direction, is if he walked by that classroom and went to another specific classroom. If indeed he went to the first one, it says to me exactly what you're saying. He's sending some kind of a message at either Brown writ large or America, and he just did what he did in the first classroom that presented itself.
Paul Morrow, thank you. We are awaiting that press conference. We'll bring it to you when it happens.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.